The following program contains shocking portrayals of action. If you suffer from cowardice, Randall may not be right for you. Check with your video game supplier.
Proclaiming the truth in the highways and byways of the world. Fighting for justice in the dark alleys of politics. Raising the voice of resistance to a fevered pitch. And he knows where to find the best and worst jail food in America. Randall Terry.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Were you ready? Were you ready, baby? You ready? On the warpath? I don't think so. If I am, it's on the warpath for peace. Yes, it is I, your servant Randall. Welcome to the broadcast. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. And I love you. It is I, your servant. We're going to have another kaleidoscopic journey on a television broadcast filled with mediocrity. Right. Okay. Today's top story is North Korea. Watch out. America and South Korea are going to start having some war games in your backyard. And Rasmussen releases a new poll that is worth every minute of your time just for the laughs. And we're going to take a quick look at some of the superstars that are making your heart throb today. Whew. Today's program brought to you in part by British Petroleum, the slickest operators in the entire oil industry, and by North Korea, playground of the Navy SEALs. We've got one of my original numbers for you today talking about Obama and the bailout. We've got a quick word from the Pirate and content to help you become a leader in the culture wars. Good to have you. Don't go away.
Oh, hello, matey. If you sees a mailman, let me know. I'm waiting for me check from British Petroleum for a slight accident I had slipping on that oil spill. But in the meantime, I'd like to say a word to your president. Mr. Obama, does you have the largest navy on the planet? Does you spend more on military than all the other nations combined? Aye, you does. Why then can't you pluck up the courage to go and take that little tin pot, scrawny dictator out of North Korea? Look, if you don't has the backbone for the job, I'll do it for you. Give me a fortnight, I'll have that scrawny dictator walking the plank.
Welcome to the program, friend. It is I, your servant Randall, the philosophical arms dealer for the right-hand side of your brain. Ooh, we've got a lot of arms trading today. By the way, remember the immortal words of Mark Twain. He said that comedy is based on human tragedy. Translation, when you fall down, it gives me something to laugh about. Did you see that? Yeah, okay. Top stories. North Korea, get ready. There's going to be some war games. Yeah, and you won't be laughing. As you probably know, North Korea in March sunk a South Korean ship. 46 men lost their lives. And the evidence is irrefutable. And so now the Obama administration evidently grew an itty-bitty backbone. Yes, they said they're going to have some war games. These were not previously planned to show a little show of strength. Now, the United Nations is saying that, and I quote, there must be some measures taken. Strong words. What are those measures? We don't know. But he did say, this is, of course, the United Nations General Secretary, the evidence is quite compelling. There is no controversy. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the international community to address this issue properly. Wow, them's fighting words. What are they going to do? Let me give you a little quick scenario here. There are some military experts that believe that if war broke out right now between North and South Korea, that it could result in the largest loss of life in one day of battle in the history of the whole human race. There's 1 million men in arms on the North Korean side of the border. If they just started pouring over and launching missiles into Seoul, Korea, the number of dead would be inconceivable. So what are they going to do? All right, Kim, You rock star, you. Give me one of your boats so that we can sink it in retaliation. Of course, Kim Jong-il says, we never shot their boat. He's a liar. He's a little midget. He's a psychopath. We need to mock him every way that we possibly can. But in the meantime, what kind of retribution are they going to bring, really? Really and truly. Until the South Koreans and the U.S. are ready to take out that regime, they're going to have to live with what happens unless they've got some plan for a tit-for-tat that doesn't involve 1 million or 2 million people dead in a matter of hours. All right, on to something a little bit more funny. The Rasmussen people, great pollsters, just released a poll. Some really funny stuff in there. On the serious side, 63% of Americans now favor repealing the health care reform. As you know, it's not even law yet. I mean, it's not in place and working. 63% are saying, get it out of here. But here's where the numbers get really funny. 27% of Americans polled believe that they said they're somewhat confident that Congress knows what it's doing to fix the financial crisis. 6% were very confident. Just how bad is it getting? Listen to this. A majority of Americans now believe that if you selected people randomly from a phone book, that they would do a better job in government than the people that are currently there. So imagine Michael Steele from the RNC. I'm going to make a phone call. Yo, you want to run for office? We need some good people. Yeah, I'm Michael Steele. I'm a very important man in politics. You don't follow politics. Well, that's even better. People, we're in a crisis. No one knows what to think or to do. And you know why? Because most of us have been catechized in the schools of our enemies. We have been sitting in front of our televisions like drones. We need more Social Security. We need more Medicare and Medicaid. We need to bail out the bank. No, wait, I need a new car. Cash for clunkers. Yes, cash for clunkers. You want to know what Cash for Clunkers did? This is why I got to take these. Otherwise, I lose my mind. Here's what Cash for Clunkers did. It made you and me pay for other people to get a car. They should have called it car care. If you can have health care, why not car care? What good is a free trip to the doctor if you can't get there? Hello? Anyway, they indebted us to pay for other people's cars. And then guess what they did? They took hundreds of thousands of used cars out of the market that poor people would have bought. Have you tried to buy a used car lately? You see how much you have to pay for a piece of junk? That's because all the older cars that would have benefited the poor that they could buy and afford were filled with lead or whatever chemical they were put in the engine. They were cutting them in pieces and they were crunching them up. It hurt the poor twice. This is the insanity that is going on in our country. And most of us are going along with it. I could have taken a Cash for Clunker. I had a clunker in my driveway for 9 months with a blown engine. Someone said, why don't you go do the Cash for Clunker? Because it's not my neighbor's job to buy me a car. All right, I got to go to the next story. Let's talk about, my favorites. Look at them. Aren't they beautiful together? Rima, Fatih, and I don't even know how to say that kid's name. Justin Bieber? Justin Bieber? What would a conversation between Rima Fatih and Justin Bieber actually sound like? Boop! Fucky. I don't know how to say her name either. I don't want to know what the conversation would sound like. It's a lost cause. Are you hearing me? All right, here's what I want you to do. Go to Rand Paul's website, okay? And just read his position on issues. Read his position on economics, read his position on life, and look at what a real statesman looks like. And then compare his content with the drivel of the other people that are running. I'll be right back.
If my cloud has a silver lining, it's only to store electricity for the lightning.
moments with Moses. If you spurn my statutes, and your soul abhors my ordinances, so that you will not do all my commandments, but break my covenant, your strength shall be spent in vain, for your land shall not yield its increase, and the trees of the land shall not yield their fruit.
Why are you watching this program? Do you not have a life?
Hi, friend. Randall Terry here. Good to be with you. Thank you for letting me be a part of your day. I've got a song about money, your money, being used to bail people out. Then I have a specific call to battle for you. Hope you enjoy the tune. I think you will.
It touched me when I wrote it. Play it, please.
President Obama, Harry Reid, Federal Reserve, you've got something I need. I'm drowning in red, won't you rescue me? I need you, please. Got a penthouse in London, my rent's overdue. They repoed my Mercedes, my Ferrari too. Got holes in my Goldman Sachs parachute. I need you, yes I do. Stimulus bill, won't you please help me? Stimulus bill, I'm down on my knees. Stimulus bill, you made a slave out of me. But I love you, can't you see? If Wall Street crashes and London goes up in flames, Barack Hussein Obama, they'll curse all your names. Let the Hicks and the Sticks pay for our tricks. Give them circuses and breadsticks. Stimulus bill, won't you please help me? Stimulus bill, I'm down on my knees. Stimulus bill, you made a slave out of me. But I love you, can't you see? Oh, from Wall Street to London, yes, and Athens, we're gonna bail out everyone. Heck, we might even bail out China next. How would you like your General Cho's chicken? I want it paid for, please, by a bailout. Nancy, help me.
Thank you. You're very kind. I want to talk to you seriously for a minute about money and about the deficit. Recently, there's a lot of Americans, thankfully, that are concerned about the deficit. And we should be, because our children and our grandchildren are being obligated to pay this massive debt. But here is the problem. We have agreed to this for an entire generation. We've said, give us food stamps, give us Medicaid, give us Medicare, give us college loans, give us college grants, give us Pell Grants, cash for clunkers, help me with my mortgage. Go down through the list, people. As long as you and I think that we can reach into our neighbor's pocket and pay for what we need, we're part of the problem. This deficit spending has been going on since the 1960s under Democrat and Republican administrations, with Democratic and Republican people spending our money. So this is my call to battle for you. Go to Rand Paul's website, the man who's running for the U.S. Senate from Kentucky, and actually read the material on fiscal responsibility and on his economic policies. That is the real article. That's your assignment. Do that. Learn the real, and then you'll smell a counterfeit anywhere. We'll be back in a minute.
Randall Terry.
Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees all others. Sir Winston Churchill.
Welcome back to the program, friend. It is I, your servant, Randall. Part of my mission with doing this show, my agenda, is to help you to become a true culture warrior. I am Italian, genetically, psychologically. I'm incapable of having a hidden agenda. I wear it on my sleeve. I have an agenda for you. It's that you go away from your computer, that you're set free from the cyber ghetto, and you get into real battle in the political and cultural and communications realms. Now, if we want to truly get this country back into the hands of righteous men and women, we're talking about a de facto social revolution. Well, there have been other social revolutions in our past. Boston Tea Party, getting rid of the Stamp Act, ending slavery, women's voting rights, ending child labor, getting rid of the Jim Crow laws, the civil rights movement. These were cataclysmic upheavals of the current order at that time being replaced with a just order. So if we're going to end the killing of children, bring the true value of marriage and family back, end this insane deficit spending, stop making us all the slave labor force on the federal plantation, if that is going to happen, we have got to learn the lessons of successful social revolutions in the past. Now, Paul the Apostle said a very key verse. He said, "Men do not come to battle unless they hear the clear sound of the trumpet." It's a clear call. It's an intense call. It means using words sometimes that are shrill, words that grip the heart of the listener and that outrage the heart of the guilty. Samuel Adams said, "You do not need a majority to prevail. You only need an irate, tireless minority, keen to set fire in the minds of men." An irate, tireless minority, keen to set fire in the minds of men. How do we set fire in the minds of men? By using words that ignite their passions, by using words and showing images and taking actions that capture their attention. There's a lot of people that say, it's racist if you say slave labor force on the federal plantation. No, it's not racist. It's great imagery. And it reduces the horror that we're seeing economically to a real picture. We actually are a slave labor force for the federal plantation. You're working almost half the year to pay taxes so that other people can buy their stuff. That's not freedom. The essence of slavery is when you work for the benefit of another against your will. Think about it. I'll be right back.
Let their way be dark and slippery, with the angel of the Lord pursuing them. For without cause they hid their net for me. Without cause they dug a pit for my life.
Hi, friend, I'm Randall Terry. George Washington said, "Government is not reason. It is not eloquent. It is force. Like fire, it is a dangerous servant and a fearful master." There are many of us, perhaps even some of you watching this show, who have bought into the lie that the government could be your healer, your provider, your caretaker in old age, your very savior. What we have are people that have taken the attributes that belong to God himself or to your family and have attributed them to the government. So we don't need to go to Bethlehem for our Savior. We don't even need to go to hometown for our family. We just need to go to Washington, D.C., to Obama, to Bill Clinton, to George Bush. It's both parties. Friend, if you and I keep thinking that we can reach into our neighbor's pocket to get what we need, then ultimately we are enslaving each other. A government that is big enough to provide you with everything you need is also powerful enough to take away everything you have. What do you want? A little bit of security along with slavery? Or the chaotic life that comes with being a free man who has to make it on his own? I, for one, would rather be a half-starved free man than a well-fed slave. I don't want to be the slave of that fearful master, the government. God bless you.